people that make money learn the most. They're constantly the student. They realize that they don't know everything. Once you learn how to make money, and especially online, you kind of feel like you can always do it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't worth the stress and headache to keep something like that going.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Vince Reed podcast. As you can see to my left, we got the main man, Mr. Vince Reed. And I'm Mike, head of production here
Let's
at
go.
the DM.
Let's get it.
Oh, I said
Let's
DM.
go. Mike, let me see you dance. Can you dance? I've never seen you dance.
We have to redo the intro because Mike messed up.
I said the DM.
You called it the DM. There is no DM podcast, Michael.
We don't start it again. We just edited it out.
What's up,
Anyways,
everybody?
What's up?
What's up? Welcome to the Vince Reed podcast. As you can see here, we got the main man, Mr. Vince Reed. And I'm
What's
Mike,
up?
head of production here at the Vince Reed podcast. So welcome. Thanks for joining us. And what are we going to talk about today? Well, obviously, marketing, business, and we got Connor on the ones and twos behind us,
Salutations.
giving his, little 2 cents and Connor's curveball at the end of the show. We
It's
don't know what it is.
actually 3 cents, Mike.
We'll tack another cent on there.
Yeah.
51 cents.
I'm rich.
He's 51 cents.
I'm rich in soul and in spirit.
That's right.
Credo.
That's why we have you here on the ones and twos. So how you feeling today, Vince?
I'm good, man. It's been a long week, and it's only Tuesday.
I know it feels like it's Thursday at least.
Yeah, it's been wild.
Well, we shot multiple videos
We've been doing a lot.
before this show right now. Right, we went live for Eboov.
We did.
And we shot Ad Roulette. If you don't know about that yet, check it on our channel, Ad Roulette, where Vince goes through random ads that he sees on mobile, on Instagram or Facebook, and
Beat them up.
pretty much.
Actually, the ones lately have been really good. It's been
But you
hard
give
to beat
value.
up.
You give
They've been
value,
pretty
though.
good.
Yeah.
I actually learned a lot.
What have you learned so far?
Oh, man. I mean, that I'm sure I can tell just because obviously that's all I've done for the last several decades going on now. What it goes into creating an ad.
Yeah.
So I can see that these people go through the same issues that I go through, right? How am I clear with my message? How do I get people to click that button to continue watching? So I can see that it's just a journey.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of like that one time the story when I saw Gary
Yeah. On the plane.
He was
You have a
sitting next to
picture
me.
of it. That was funny.
So I asked him like who helps you? Like, how do you get help? Who do you go to for help?
Uh-huh.
And he said that he doesn't. He said he gets all the help that he needs by getting people to ask him questions. Like when people ask him questions. So if you've ever seen GaryVee speak, he just literally opens it up for Q&A. And somehow he learns from their questions.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So I feel like by doing Ad Roulette, it's actually probably helping me more than I'm helping the people watching.
Yeah, it's like a byproduct.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so interesting because I think now that we've gone through probably close to going on 10 episodes so far, and
Has it been that many?
that's like 30 ads.
Wow, I didn't realize.
If we're thinking about like 3 ads per episode, that's like close to 30 ads that you've gone through. What are like the biggest mistakes that you see that, we'll start with the ad first. What is the biggest mistake that you see with ads? And then we'll go into the funnels.
Well, I think the outcome. Like, social is interruption marketing, right? So marketers, we constantly have this battle of like trying to stay native, meaning like create ads and content that look like they belong on the platform. But then sometimes you can get too native where people just scroll by it thinking it's just another post, right? So being able to be an ad, be clear that it's an ad, and still create a situation where people want to watch it and take an action.
Okay.
Right? Because people are annoyed, to be quite honest. If you were to ask most people, they hate ads, but they kind of love them at the same time because it's, they get to see what else is out there.
Uh-huh.
So just finding that happy medium.
So what would be like one thing someone can do to like an ad to have it stand out from all the other posts?
I mean, I think today the first thing that we always look at is the ad messaging. So typically either that's a border or some kind of like title
a headline on the top.
That would be number one, or just being really clear in the text, you know, on the ad. So being clear right away, and you know, saying who the ad is for, quickly identifying the problem and the solution. Just being real quick and transparent with it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So with the funnels, after you've gone through all these funnels, what do you see has been like the biggest problem?
Oh man, I mean it's consistent. Most of the funnels aren't mobile friendly, and that's where all the traffic comes from.
So when you say mobile friendly, what does that actually mean?
So most people, they don't have a clear headline at the top, right? They use a lot of copy. So you can think about it. All the traffic is on someone's phone. So what I tend to see is too much copy, a lot of words. And then typically the buttons below the fold. So you're forcing people to scroll. And people, they're not going to do all of that on their mobile phone.
Right. They just want to click it right there.
Especially when they were on social, just hanging out, having a good time. So to get them to take that action, click on an ad, click on a website, scroll through, put their information in and watch. It's a lot that you're asking someone to do on a little device.
That makes sense. And then also the copy on there. Because I hear you say this all the time with a lot of these ads that have a bunch of copy on there. You don't want the viewer to actually see the copy, or how do you put it? You want them to just see it and understand it?
So when there's a lot of copy, you have to physically force your eyes to read. You don't want that. You want the copy to be clear where your eyes can just look at the copy and read it.
Or just like understand it.
You can just see it and understand it.
Read it.
Whereas like I don't know, editing, maybe you can pull this off. So if I would put a bunch of words on the screen right now, you'd have to read it. But if I would just have like 8 words on the screen, you could look at it and see what I'm saying clearly and identify what's going on.
That makes sense. We're going to talk about just a little bit on Eboov, because every episode we have to talk about what's the update on Eboov. What's going on right now?
Yeah, so I can't assume everybody knows what Eboov is. Eboov is my software company. Stands for Entrepreneur, Business Owner, Online Video. And, you know, I had an afro before this launched, and now I'm bald. So just letting you guys know, software is it's a whole nother animal of business, something that every single day I feel like I'm in a fist fight because a lot of it's out of your control, right? So you have developers and you got a team, and you're trying to you know, share a new message, and you're like, I can't believe everybody doesn't understand how cool this thing is, right?
Right.
And then I look at some of my buddies, even going back to like Russell. I remember him saying it like for 2 years, no one even wanted ClickFunnels, right? So it's just one of those things with that. But right now we're really working on the main feature, which was the feature that we had visioned for the company in the beginning, and we wanted to launch. So we launched with our in-video conversion technology as the message, right?
Yeah.
And in-video conversion technology just allows us to capture leads and sell products right from the video. So what Eboov ultimately is a video hosting platform. It allows you to eliminate steps. You know, I don't use brick wall pages anymore. I just drive traffic right to my videos, and I'm able to turn my videos into my capture page by capturing leads and selling my product from the video. So anyways, that was the message, right? Which has done well. A lot of people have joined. It helps improve conversions. It helps, improve sales. It's doing all of that, and it's not even close. I mean, we used to get 20% conversion rates, right, on lead opt-in rates, and now a bad day is like 45%. Like, what happened? Why were we at 50, right?
Yeah.
And then just all of the new attention we're getting because everybody's getting to the webinar. But even with that, I could say that and people will be like, they just wait. And I get it because I'm the same way. I have to have proof that it's going to work.
More proof, yeah.
But, we're waiting for a final approval for the
latest feature.
A new feature that is a game changer, which we went live and talked about today, which is ultimately off-platform retargeting.
Yeah. Something that you're getting right now, like you're testing it and you're getting really big results.
Basically, off-platform video retargeting allows you to build audiences and retarget individuals if they watch a video off of a social platform. So right now, you can build an audience on people who watch a video, on Facebook or Instagram, and you can build audiences if they watch 25% or 50 or all the way up to 95% of the video. But once they land on your website, you can pretty much only retarget people who hit the website due to a pixel firing. We can get into a lot of information.
Yeah, we don't have to get into it.
But ultimately, what off-platform video retargeting would be if you would embed a video on your website or they land on your webinar or VSL on an opt-in page and they hit play, you could build a custom audience that automatically builds on Facebook or Instagram, and then set up an ad to automatically stream to those individuals based on them pressing play or watching 25% or all the way up to 95%, just as you would on the actual social platform.
Right.
So that's the game changer. And it builds the audience on a API level. So even if cookies aren't accepted, it has nothing to do with cookies, which I believe is going to be obsolete soon.
Right. Because like that's one of the biggest hurdles that people face with a lot of these websites.
Yeah, I
cookies.
mean, all the operating systems, iOS and all these updates keep making it difficult, keep doing the right thing, protecting people's privacy. So it's making tracking for advertising difficult. And that's why people are struggling, especially with their retargeting campaigns, and they're having to use third-party software and things like that. So this is kind of like a way to get around that and actually get more effective.
Yeah, and that's good too, because you pretty much built this for yourself.
Absolutely.
Right. And now that you've pretty much, it's almost about to be out there and in production. Now you're just letting the world use it.
Yeah. So now it's one of those things where, you go from 50 to 60% conversions. Now you're building an audience of even the 50% that didn't opt in.
Right.
But you can, I mean, that's where it just gets crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. So now that you know about that, we'll place a link down below if you are interested on checking that out. So with that being said, you brought another thing up yesterday. We were talking about this. It's really interesting because you're talking about the ups and downs of building a business with Eboov, and obviously it's hard, right? But then there's some people that are like, you know what? I'm just gonna skip all those steps and try to defraud everyone else. There is the story of this one CEO of this company, right? What was it for college?
She owned the company Frank.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard of her, but she was in the Forbes 30 under 30 or something like that. And Successful Entrepreneur comes out that she was basically tried to fraud, I think, was it Chase out of 175 million?
She was trying to get Chase to purchase her company.
Right.
And I believe, don't quote me on this, but from what we saw on like the article, she said that there was like 4.2 million customers, but in reality,
really 300,000.
300,000,
which is still phenomenal.
Right.
Why?
If you just keep working on it and building it, you'll get to the 4.2 million.
4.2, right? But there's probably other things that we don't know of. Maybe she was just losing money and needed to raise that capital and wanted
for investors.
To sell. Yeah. So she basically said she had 4 million, she had 300,000, and got Chase to pay her 175 million and used some type of like, I don't even know how they did, data generator to like create these fake, what she said are like customers. So she's saying these aren't the real customers, but this is what they would consist of if you were to, buy this company. I'm gonna find out it was all fake, and now she's gonna spend probably the rest of her life in jail.
That's crazy. It's like the things money will kind of push you to. Well, I mean, it starts with the person as well. Like probably not making the best decisions, and obviously, you know what happens. You do stuff like that.
Yep. So now she gets to sit next to some lady every day that steals her cornbread. You ever seen Life?
I have.
She won't eat your cornbread.
That's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You never know.
Instead of
that's crazy.
From Forbes to the sale.
Yeah.
Wild.
All you got to do is just
do right.
Do right. Do right. So we went over that. Another thing, bringing up right here is, so we do Instagram Reels of Ad Roulette episodes, and one person commented on one of our Reels, and this was an ad critique for Hyros, Alex Becker's his previous company that he sold. But I'm going to bring it up right here just so I say this accurately. Okay. The comment says, Alex Becker looking at this like, quote, "Tell me more about digital marketing," end quote.
No, I was dying when I saw this because I get it. I get the sarcasm. I mean, where do I start? First of all, you're always going to get comments. And, okay, what I do when I look at the comments, I step back. Okay, I see where the guy's coming from. well, first off, he probably has no idea who I am, right? So he's like, here's this guy. This guy just sold his company for $110 million. Who you tell him about marketing?
Right.
And it makes sense and it's funny, but if you step back, I don't know Alex, but I guarantee you, especially if he saw that episode, he would get value from it. One of my favorite quotes is that the wise learns more from the fool than the fool learns from the wise. You know, I've generated millions and millions of dollars online, right? And you see me, I'm always learning more. Like people that make money learn the most. They're constantly the student. They realize that they don't know everything. And it's funny. I would be curious who that guy is. Hopefully it's successful, but I would put my credentials up against his. You know what I mean? Let's just call it what it is. And then, you know, he's looking at it like Becker's laughing at that, but I would look at it the other way. I think Becker's like, okay, that's good information, whether it's good or bad, and he would learn from it. Yeah. Right? But
true.
But in reality, I don't build those or create those for someone like Becker. Right? I'm making that for the person getting started, that to help them not make mistakes so they can be like Becker.
Right, exactly.
Right? So that's the truth behind that. But
yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that's one of the things that people forget when it comes to just providing value. Like, for example, one of the things that I learned when providing value to someone is like, picture yourself 5 years ago when you're just coming up. You are speaking to that person, like what you wish you'd have known, right? And especially like when you're marketing to other people, those are pretty much the same people in that position that you once were that you're just speaking to. That way, it's easy. It flows.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
if you take what everyone says and you get personal or like you want to defend what your position, I think that you miss a learning opportunity. So like even with that guy, I look at it, I go, I see the sarcasm there. I don't reply back to it because I get it. It makes sense. He's like, dude, Becker doesn't need your advice. Yeah. Not knowing or maybe not thinking of the fact that I'm not creating that for him. But I look at it like if someone were to critique one of my ads, I wouldn't be like, oh, I've been running ads since 2008. I'd be like, that's good. I mean, you've seen me in ad roulette. Go, that's a good ad. I'm going to run that. So you've got to always be, humble enough to say, hey, you don't have all the answers, and the wise learns more from the fool than the fool learns from the wise.
That's true. Yeah, keep an open mind.
Yep.
All right, so Connor, what's the curveball you have for us today?
Vince, you're gonna love this one. It's about sacrifice, but it's about the Lakers specifically. Right. So, if you guys don't know, Vince is probably the biggest Lakers fan I've ever met in my entire life, and for the past several months throughout the season and for NBA, he's talking about how much like the Lakers they're going to go far. They're going to go super far after they traded Russell Westbrook. I'm not good with basketball. Sorry.
You're a baseball aficionado.
I'm a baseball guy through and through, and basketball's like a foreign language to me. So anyway, the Lakers traded Russell Westbrook this year. And before that, the Lakers had a terrible record. What was their record before?
I mean, I think they were 25 and 30 something. Like
yeah,
that.
so
25 and 30, I believe, when they made the trade.
So pretty abysmal. And after the trade, they got a lot of good players in return. And right now, as of last night, they are 3-1 against the Warriors, which is incredibly impressive. And I think you were saying earlier that they are slated to be the favorites to win the West. Right now.
They are the Vegas favorites.
So this begs the question. Has there ever been a moment in your entire career, both of you, where you've had to make a legitimate sacrifice of something that you believed would be really good for you, and you've had to cut it off in favor of doing something better, and it actually helped you out significantly? That's the question.
I mean, that's easy.
You go first.
I mean, all the time. I mean, numerous times.
What specific instance for you? Like that you would say is like this one instance I had to sacrifice something and it actually turned out for the better for me to where I am today.
How about hitting the stop button on over multiple six figures in recurring revenue to do the right thing?
Tell us about that.
So basically, I had a company that had built up a multiple six-figure recurring revenue. It was an app company, and if you watch the DM episodes, we talk about it a little bit. But I basically closed the company down because Apple was not approving all of the apps, and we had promised that, hey, your app's gonna get approved in Apple and in Android. And the second once we started seeing apps not getting approved in Apple, I was like, we can't do this. Even though people were perfectly happy with the Android app, we stopped it, and I canceled all the recurring and refunded who needed to be refunded and stopped the entire company, a company that did several $1 million very quickly. So we had to cancel it.
Mike?
I think that was the painful.
What about you?
I mean, that's painful.
You top that, Mike.
But that was good though, because I mean, if you think about it, I mean, we talked about this in previous episodes, but you just got to do right by your customers no matter what, because your reputation is number one.
But it wasn't a hard decision, to be honest, for me. Because I always believe once you learn how to make money, and especially online, you kind of feel like you can always do it. Yeah. So it just wasn't worth the stress and headache to keep something like that going. That
it's in the back of your mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. For me, I would say, so like when I first started making videos, and I was like in the videographer solo, I guess, position, right? And I was going from project to project, and I was filming. I knew that it wasn't sustainable, and I needed to learn the necessary skills in order to build something that's more recurring for the business. And so I needed to invest in like things that would help improve specific skills. So like marketing, sales, and client acquisition, like for example. And so there were certain courses that I was recommended to by my other friends that implemented it into their businesses and they were seeing success. And these certain courses were not cheap. They were expensive. But after seeing like their successes and what they got from going through these courses, I invested in these, and I actually applied what they were teaching, and I learned these necessary skills, and that's how I got to like the next level. So yeah, I had to like bite the bullet, but once I applied those, then I was able to see like progress. So I guess you could say that was like one thing, like I had to like sacrifice.
I got a question for you. Yeah. So that's awesome. My question for you is, you know how people always say courses are scams, like those people that make those videos, and if the course was $5, would you have gone through it with the same intensity? Did the price change how you approached the information?
Yeah, it did.
So you don't think you would have went through it the same? Or yes.
I wouldn't have went through it with the same intensity.
Isn't that wild?
We were talking about this.
That's wild. I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting. It's like if I were to tell you that you could have a brand new Ferrari and it was $1,000, you probably wouldn't want a Ferrari. Or you'd think something was wrong, right?
I would think someone was wrong with the Ferrari.
And it's the same thing with the course that's like more expensive.
Yeah. Like the reason why is because if after going through like the testimonials, seeing like the person's content on, social, I think that was a very big thing. I was just like going through all their content. It's not like I actually like pulled the trigger right away. It was like a couple months until I finally pulled the trigger to get the course. But I think the one thing that was good is because the person that, that built the course was able to convey that the amount of money that you invest into the course is going to be so little to how much you can actually make back. And knowing that, it's like, would you put in, like, let's say, for example, this wasn't the price of the course, but let's say, would you put in $1,000 to make an extra 10K or 100K? Yeah, take that any day. That's a great return.
Yeah. So nobody should have a problem paying more for our video hosting platform, right?
No one should have a problem. If you want more customers and to build your business.
Yes. And that's why it's price premium.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
Yeah. Because we want the right people within the company that understand the value of what we have to offer and understand that your business is important. So you want something that's reliable and can get you customers. Leads, more leads, faster sales. Eboov.
Did that answer your question, Mr. Curveball?
Quite. Actually, that was a great response, guys. Like, great curveball today. Fantastic.
Yeah, that was great. That was great, Connor. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Michael.
So, with that being said, thanks again for joining. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like if it gave you some value, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.